If stars is saying my part of the world, welcome me to this introductory tutorial on video editing in Blender. I trust you're well and interested in learning how to use the Blender Video Sequence Editor. I'll show the fundamentals of using the Video Sequence Editor. Today we'll explore the VSE interface, importing a clip into the timeline to play it, and then moving and editing the strip before exporting it, or in Blender speak, rendering our first video. I assume you've already uploaded Blender into your computer before you start this session. Here we have our standard Blender startup splash screen. Mine is version 5.1. If you're on a different version, your splash screen may appear slightly different, but the functionality we're going to cover will be the same. There are lots of different areas of Blender, but we're going to go into the video editing suite. Here is Blender's standard startup screen layout. We've obviously got file, edit, etc. at the top. The top left pane is our browser for files. The center top pane is the preview screen where our video will appear. Top right is the edit options. The main pane at the bottom is the sequencer. You notice each pane's name appears there. And right at the bottom we have the playback heads. We have a little file here which I've created a while ago, which we're going to use for demonstration. The contents of the file is not important for this. It is just a vehicle for us to demonstrate how to use the sequencer. So let's load up a file. So mine's 1 level, 2 levels up. Download, double click that as you would in any other system. Left click the file you want, hold the left mouse button down, drag it and drop it there. You notice we brought in 2 strips. The top strip is the video strip with little thumbnails on it, and it's got a blue header. And the bottom strip, the green one, is the audio strip, and as you can see there's a little waveform here where I start to speak. So let's play this. Now you should have noticed 3 things. One is there's a gap at the front. 2 is our video appears in the little panel at the top, and I hope you heard a bit of a voice. But then it repeats itself. It doesn't play the whole video, it starts again. The reason for that is Blender, when it loads up, assume you're going to play 250 frames, which is, what, 4 seconds. It starts at frame 1 and ends at frame 250. Frame 1's there, frame 250 is there. That's why this panel is grayed out like this, and this is a different colour, so it's looping around here. So we need to tell it where the end is. So use our mouse button to scroll in and out. So using my middle mouse wheel, scroll out. Eventually that's the end of it. So I can move my cursor right to the end, very carefully position it at the end. And that is frame 3834, not frame 250. So I could type in 3834 in there. In fact, let's type in 1000. You can see that it's now that big. We could copy it from there, so we could do Control-C, V in there. That works as well. Let's make that, change that to 2500. You can see it's growing. The easiest way of doing it is to go to playback over far left, bottom left, playback, set end frame, and you can see it's now 3834, 3834. We can use our scroll bar here to scroll left and right. We can use our mouse key to move in and out. There's a slightly easier way of doing that, is if we go to View. These are the view options, some of which have shortcuts like T, N, Home, Numpad 0, etc. The one we want is Numpad dot, so you can hit the Numpad dot, or you can hit frame selected. There are a lot of shortcuts in Blender. You don't need to know most of them. Some of them you use regularly and will learn, and I'll show you a bonus screen at the end for those, but we're going to do that. Now if we click off, notice the bars around the outside of those 2 disappear. We click on, it's selected. There's a blank bit at the section we can get rid of. As you can see, the waveform only starts there. So we could do it one of two ways. First way is to drag it across so that that waveform is about where it starts. If we go to the beginning with our playhead, here we have a simple, and that works fine. The other way, we'll move this back just for convenience at the moment, is to move the playhead to where we want to start. Hit K for knife to cut the strip. Notice this one is selected at the moment. We click over there and we could hit delete, and that gets rid of that beginning section. There's a slightly quicker way of doing this, so I'm going to use Control Z to undo those. So I've now got one strip again. Instead of having my cursor this side, I wanted the cursor on the side I want to delete. The left of the playhead in this case. K for knife, hit delete, and it's gone. So that's a slightly quicker way of doing it. I also have a section at the back here where nothing happens. You can see the voice stops. So I can do that the same. Click on the side I want to delete. I hit K for knife and delete. Now there's an easier way of moving backwards and forwards through your strips, and that's page up, which takes you to the beginning of that strip. Page down takes you to the end of that strip. Page up, page down. I am going to take my cursor right to the beginning, so I can either drag it across. The quickest way, of course, is to move the playhead. I want to move my strip to here, so I could obviously left click, hold down the mouse button, drag it across, and you see it snaps to that position. I could carry on. That's one way of doing it, and that works very well. There's an easier way of snapping, is with the strip highlighted, is just to do Shift and S, and it will snap to that position. So I now got all my recording ready to play. So let's listen to that recording. Here we have a simple Blender flying saucer, which we're going to animate over 50 frames. So with our cursor set at frame 1, we can set keyframes on location and keyframes on rotation. Then advancing that to frame halfway through to frame 25. We're going to apply a little bit of wobble to this, so we can rotate it a bit on the x-axis, a bit on the y-axis, and we'll make it turn, let's say, 2 full revolutions. So we can record those keyframes. Move into the final frame. We'll add a little bit more wobble, just to make it look as if it's moving. When we give it another 2 revolutions, so that's 1440 degrees altogether. Record that keyframe, and now we're just ready to render that out. Okay, I'll pause that for a minute, space. So let's look at cutting and joining. So we'll move to a section where there's some movement going on. I'll do. You can see movement going on there. And some voice. So we're going to cut here. And temporarily, I'm just going to put this one out of the way. I don't want to bother with it. So if we take our cursor down near the end, you can see it changes shape to that drag shape. I now left click and drag that. You notice all the video is still there and the audio is still there. So cut isn't actually getting rid of it. It is just hiding it, I suppose. And that is very useful. So remember, the knife cut basically just hides it, so you can recover it if you need to. I'm going to use Control Z just to recover where we were. Join those two up. So that's the soft cut, the K knife soft cut. We can also do a hard cut, which is Shift K, so Shift and knife. Likewise, as last time, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Move my cursor till it goes to that drag sign, drag it across. Notice 3 things have happened. 1 is there are no thumbnails. 2 is the video strip is dark blue instead of pale blue, and the audio strip is dark. Play that. Notice the video isn't there anymore. It's just repeating the same strip over and over again. Because you've hard cut it, there's no video for it to copy. So the audio has disappeared as well. I'm going to undo those again because I want all my video to be whole. So it's just Control-Z, just get those back together. So we're now almost ready to output this. Notice our end strip, our end is 3834 still, and we've got this area here. So how do we deal with that? Do you remember? So page down takes us to the end of that. Playback, set end frame, and that's nice and neat and tidy. So now we can output this. So we're going to go up to our edit pane. So we click on this option here, which is output. Blender will have created the resolution correctly. It's defaulted to 60 frames a second. That's fine. It's going to output to a folder called temp. Let's change that to our downloads folder. We'll give it a name. Lesson 1. Lesson 1 will do. Accept that. And then we better save it before we do anything else, I think, don't you? So file, save as, we give it a name. Save that. Now, to actually create the video from what we've got here, we have to use a thing called render, which is a Blender term. So render Blender, render animation. It will go through that file and generate the output file for us as a MP4 file. Finished. So we can shut that, minimize that. Let's have a look at our output file. Go to our downloads folder. It's got a name of lesson 1, whole name. Let's double click on that. Whoops, double click on that. Here we have a simple Blender flying saucer, which we're going to animate over 50 frames. So with our cursor set at frame 1, we can set keyframes on location and keyframes on rotation. Then advancing that to frame halfway through to frame 25. We're going to apply a little bit of wobble to this, so we can rotate it a bit on the x-axis, a bit on the y-axis, and we'll make it turn, let's say, 2 full revolutions. So we can record those keyframes. Move into the final frame. We'll add a little bit more wobble, just to make it look as if it's moving. When we give it another 2 revolutions, so that's 1440 degrees altogether. Record that keyframe, and now we're just ready to render that out. If you found this video useful, then I would appreciate it if you could like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe.